Yo, 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 what's good out there, everybody, on this chilly Saturday afternoon, mid-February, going towards the end. So many things going on. Thank you guys out there for rolling with your boy once again. This is the Ballers Report podcast. And as you know, we do more than just talk about sports on the Ballers Report podcast, although the next person that I'm going to be bringing in, she's participating in a sport. And she's going to talk about her journey. That, of course, is the little sissy, Natalie Smith. We haven't talked in quite some time, but as we were discussing off air, it's like it doesn't matter. It seemed like we just talked yesterday, and we really had a big brother, little sister relationship all those years ago. And she really is not the little sister anymore because she all grown up. I guess that means I'm just getting old. But enough of all of that. Natalie Smith, what can I say? I mean, I have so much love for her, all the way back to 2000 and I don't know, 11, 10, 11, 12, somewhere in there. She was at our wedding. She is one of those ladies that knows what she wants. She knows how to get it. She's very independent. One of the things that I love about her is her spunk and her spontaneity. She's a strong African female of color, and I'm gonna let her tell more about herself to you here in just a minute. So come back on the other side of the introduction because you already know what we got to do. You already know what it is. Let's go.
Right about now, you're about to be possessed by the sounds.
Yeah, I know what it is. You little suckers get to talking, grabbing and walking, strapped to the pong of their jaws and smacking they sleep with the coffins. And they getting greedy like saying, give me all.
Well, you already know what it is when you hear that music. It's another edition of the Ballers Report podcast. Right here, courtesy and powered by the Shakeback Media Group. It's your boy, Willie Epting Jr. checking in. You guys already know how we do it here at the group. The first time you are introduced onto the scene, you are a guest, although she is technically not a guest, but she's just a new guest in terms of the Shakeback Media Group. But then as soon as those things start working and the music starts blaring in the background, at that instant, you immediately become family. And speaking of that, there she is in all her splendor. My little sissy, Natalie Smith. What's happened, Nat?
Hey, thank you for that introduction. I appreciate that.
Well, I didn't say anything that wasn't untrue.
Facts.
This is very much facts. So talk to me. What's been going on in the life of Natalie, say, over the last 12 years?
Oh boy. I don't think we have enough time, but no, back in Austin, I know I've kind of jumped around from Dallas to Houston, back to Dallas. Now I'm back in Austin. Just, taking it day by day, still, very much career driven, of course, and just, picking up new hobbies and, trying to get back into older hobbies, things like that. Some older hobbies is jewelry making. That's something that, a lot of people don't know about me as far as what I do as far as a creative outlet. So that's a fun fact about me. But other than that, just, working and, keeping myself busy, keeping myself out of trouble, all that good stuff.
Well, that must be something new for me because let me think. I don't really recall you getting in too much trouble other than when you had to stand up for yourself at game school and they didn't like it too much.
No, they don't like people standing up for themselves. But hey, if it's, I'm no longer there, you're no longer there. But yeah, it's very important to be, a strong individual, whether you're a man or a woman, most importantly, a woman, because, a lot of times we have to, take the back seat. And yeah, I'm not that type of person.
Yes. And due to that, that unfair stigma that gets placed on women of color comes out when those certain traits that make an individual are brought to the forefront because of the character, because of the things that are going on around them. And just because they may not be able to handle it doesn't mean that it's not right. That's not your fault. Let me tell you that. So,
Right.
well, that was an interesting fun fact. I did not know that you were a jeweler. You know, it's funny. It's funny because I know that you like to travel. So, what happens if and when you go to a place and you find some sort of precious stone, like, maybe some not cubic zirconia, because that's not a precious stone. I don't even think that's a stone. It looks more like plastic. But anyway,
Right.
what happens if you go to a place and you find something like a precious stone, like a piece of diamond or what have you? Are you going to make that into something, or are you just going to keep it for what it is?
I would probably make it into something because it'll be memorable for that trip and then also bringing it back and just turning it into something, just real beautiful that I can just hold on to. But yeah, I would definitely turn into something, have my own spin on it.
Right. Now, here comes the major question. Would you keep it or would you sell it?
Oh no, I would keep it.
You would keep it. Okay. Well, you better than me because I'd be looking for the highest bidder.
I know.
All right, so let's get into what we're here for. And that's your journey. And I didn't really realize that you were heavy into this until, I don't know, maybe a few months ago. And I kept watching from afar. And I've actually had another female bodybuilder, or actually another female that's in the weightlifting / bodybuilder game. And she actually told her story from beginning to where it is now. And she is cut and chiseled and all those great things that she set out to be. You have always been in pretty good shape from what I remember. So what was it that kind of motivated you to get into this weightlifting / competition journey?
Well, I got into CrossFit about, I would say like 3 years ago, 4 years ago. The running and gymnastics was not my thing, even though I used to run a lot and do marathons, but it just wasn't for me. But I really love the weightlifting portion of it. So I was doing my research and, definitely researching all the gyms, specifically weightlifting gyms, Olympic weightlifting gyms in the Austin area. Did my research, did my drop ins, and then that's how I really started getting into it. It's something that you definitely need someone to teach you about the movement of the barbell, things like that, so you don't hurt yourself. And that was my most top concern, was the fact that I just didn't want to hurt myself because I want to be able to move for the rest of my life and, just kind of have that strength and maintain it. So that's how I came across it. CrossFit is great for anybody else. It wasn't for me. The gymnastic part, the constant running, it wasn't for me. But the weightlifting part, that was my gem.
Mm-hmm. And for a lot of people that may not know the dynamics of what all is included in CrossFit, can you explain a little bit about that?
Oh God, they do anything from barbell, dumbbells, running, gymnastics, muscle. Muscle. I don't even remember. I have shut that part of my brain down. But I was like, I just knew it wasn't for me. Handstand walks, things like that. Everyone's athletic in their own way, and that was not my strong suit.
Mm-hmm. Now, the gymnastics part of it, does that automatically I don't know. Well, just let me ask a question. Does that automatically involve doing flips that you can, like backflips and all that kind of stuff, or is it just more like cartwheels or what?
Oh gosh, I'm probably getting this wrong, but I know there's a lot of handstand walks in CrossFit. There's a lot of bar muscle ups in gymnastics, a lot of kipping, pull ups, things like that, that involve you just moving your body and your body weight, in all sorts and types of ways. So that just wasn't my strong suit.
Uh-huh. Well, you got to know when to hold them and know when to fold them and know
Yes.
when to walk away and all that other stuff that was said in that song. Okay. Um, and for me, I mean, I take an interest in that, because number one, it's you, And then number two, you know, when you talk to people that are smarter than you are, that means you're going to learn something new. And I like to feel like that's what I do whenever I have somebody on any one of my shows, is for me to be able to learn something that I never knew before. Now I know that the hardest part of anything that you're doing that's new, or even for the first time, that's the most difficult part. So, what kind of emotions did you experience when you first began this journey?
I remember the first day walking into the gym. I was very intimidated. I was very scared, just because I knew it was something new, and I was going to be taught the correct way to, move around with a barbell. So I was very intimidated. You have all of these ladies and gentlemen around you that are just, throwing these weights over their head, and it looks like, it's a lot of weight, because whenever they drop that barbell, you can feel the ground, kind of shake, and you can hear the weights, clattering. So it was very intimidating, and I was scared, but luckily the community, embraced me, and I told myself that it was going to be a step-by-step process and not to compare myself to others, because naturally I think we all compare ourselves to others, whether it's with our careers, our relationships, any extracurricular activities that we involve, in our day-to-day lives. I think it's normal, it's human for us to compare ourselves, but just reminding myself like, hey, this is day one or this is month one, and everyone starts somewhere. It's
Mm-hmm.
just it was my time to start.
Mm-hmm. So, in that, when did this actually begin? I mean, when you decided to go about this journey, and then you actually implemented the plan into place. How long was it between the time you said, "Okay, I'm going to do this," and then you actually began to do it?
I did my research probably 3 months before I joined Austin Barbell out of Austin, Texas. And then from that day till now, I think it's gonna be 2 years at the end of this summer. So I'm still relatively new to the sport. I'm still very much learning. It is a sport where it's very self-rewarding, but it's also very frustrating because it's very technical. But at the end of this summer, it's going to be 2 years.
Wow. So here's a question that's not on the list of questions that I sent to you, and I know you're going to be able to answer it because you're a brilliant person. So what is okay? Let me put it. Let me rephrase the question, counselor. Um, the first time you did, and I've seen it when you, because what? Okay, first of all, what is that called? Whenever you throw the weight up like that over your head, and then you squat, and then you bring it all the way up. What's the technical name for that?
That's a snatch. So in Olympic weightlifting, there's two types of lifts. That one is the snatch, and then the second one is a clean and jerk. But that one that you're describing is the snatch.
Okay, and that's what you're best at, correct?
Um, I wouldn't say best at. I'm still working out some technicalities of it, but I do like that one because I do like that lift just because it is very it's a challenge and I like a challenge.
Yes, we
So
know.
yeah.
We know. Well, I know, and now everybody else around the world knows too. Oh, by the way, thank you guys out there for checking us out on Facebook and YouTube and LinkedIn and Instagram TV and of course Twitter. We appreciate you guys checking in. We got Natalie Smith in the building, and she is talking her weightlifting competition journey. And I've thrown some curveballs at her, but like the brilliant and wonderful and amazing person that she is, she's hitting my 1-0 fastball to dead center and out of the park. That's a baseball reference for everybody out there that may not know. So here's where I want to get to, because it does look very challenging whenever I've seen you, because the legs and the knees are important, obviously.
Yeah.
And do you wear braces on your knees whenever you're doing that?
I do. Not everyone has to. It just depends on how your body feels. There's some days where I need to wrap my knees because I'm feeling, I'm feeling it in my knees, and there's some other days where I don't necessarily need it.
Mhm.
But those things aren't you don't need to use those, but if you feel more comfortable and it's helping you actually move, then of course use them.
Okay, so when you first began, the amount of pounds that you had on the bar, do you remember what it was?
Oh, I think everyone starts off with just the bar itself, and
And
that
that's
bar is 15 kilograms.
wait, 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 wait,
So
wait, 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 wait. Put that in pounds, please.
well, you
45
got to
pounds,
take the 15 times 2.2.
37.5 pounds. Something
I'll
like
roll
that.
with that number. I don't even think about pounds anymore. That's the funny thing is I always think about, weight in kilograms. So that's something that has kind of like changed in my mind. But
Mhm.
I first started off with the barbell just because, your coaches, they want to make sure, you're moving correctly because this is a sport where, you take it seriously because you can really hurt yourself. But yeah, I started with the bar, and everyone starts with the bar. And I think sometimes whenever someone comes in and they're like, "Oh, I'm only using the bar," you have to just remind them, "Hey, everyone starts with the bar," and they'll be, that kind of puts them at ease.
Mhm. Okay. And now, what we're looking at in terms of kilos, I have to do the math. Let me get my calculator ready. In terms
Get
of
your
kilos,
calculator out. So my personal best with the snatch is 63 kilograms.
okay, I got it. It's like 128 pounds.
Yeah, I'll go with that.
Okay.
So, but yeah, that's my personal best. There's still room for improvement. Again, this is a sport that is more of a marathon than a sprint because it's just very technical in your form and in just how you move that bar. So I think, short term goal for me would be 67, as a personal, you know, best, hopefully maybe by the end of the summer, something like that, but working up towards it.
So whenever, man, we have just totally gotten away from the script, and that's okay. I hope.
That's okay.
Yeah. So when you think about it, or when I think about it in terms of, because everything is baby steps, like you said, and I think it takes a certain level of mental toughness and, of course, discipline to not fall into the trap of, okay, I got to get my, this is a street term, I got to get my weight up.
Right.
So now your mentality must be one that is obviously settled in who you are, knowing who you are, and what you can do. Is that a fair assessment?
Yeah, it's a fair assessment. It is.
Okay. So I want to get back on the yellow brick road now. So I mean, there's not a lot of well, maybe I'm just ignorant to the fact, and I'll just say not maybe, I am ignorant to the fact of the amount of ladies that are involved in this particular sport. Are there any ladies out there that influenced you, that have motivated you to continue to go on that, to continue to plateau in this journey?
Yeah, there's, of course, local athletes that motivate me. There's, some world champions that motivate me. I would say definitely there's a lot of women. I've seen some very young weightlifters, age 6, 7, and it's the cutest thing, but also too it's very nice to see just to know that they are, having that footprint in their upbringing is like, oh, it's okay to lift weights. It's okay to be strong. It's okay because, everyone's doing it and I'm a girl, but I can be strong. I am a girl, but I can be strong. But yeah, there's a lot of local athletes that I admire. There's some that are, into like their late 50s that are still lifting. And I think it's amazing. And it makes me look up to them because I'm like, okay, this is something that I can sustain and maintain through my, adulthood and just pursue just lifting weights. And if I don't hit any PRs, as I'm getting older, that's okay. But as long as
PR.
I'm moving my body,
PR. What's a PR?
uh, it's basically like a personal best, but
Oh,
personal like record. Yeah.
personal record. Okay.
Okay.
So, all All right, and I actually follow a lot of ladies on Twitter that are into the whole. Some of them are doing the strength training, and some of them are doing the thing that you're doing. I didn't even know it was ever called the snatch. And
Hmm.
then some of them are doing just like completely remaking their bodies to where they have like almost no fat, and their
Right,
arms and legs are toned up, and they still look like women, of course, but you can obviously tell the difference from where they were to where they are, and they're still not satisfied. So
right.
here's the question for you in terms of nutrition. Because I know the Natalie I used to know, she liked to eat. Okay, she liked
Yes, I still like to eat.
okay. So how does the nutrition part of your lifestyle change a whole lot when you're doing this type of sport or this type of competition?
Yes, and I want to kind of go back to how there's different whenever it comes to weightlifting, and it's a very general term that some people use, but bodybuilding, as far as like competition wise, those are the individuals that are on a very strict diet, that are very chiseled, and aesthetically they are very strong, which it's great. It's a great sport to have. It's a great, goals, things like that. As far as Olympic weightlifting, there's a stigma where some people may say, "Oh, you don't look like you're an Olympic weightlifter." But
Mm,
whenever they actually see someone put a bar over their head, they're like, "Oh, they're strong." Yes, they are strong, but they don't have to be chiseled. And also, too, there's some other Olympic weightlifters that are definitely chiseled, and that's okay. It's just this sport, you don't have to look like you're, a bodybuilder.
mm,
But as far as nutrition, for me personally, my nutrition as I'm getting older, it has changed. There are things that I can't eat anymore because I know it's gonna, not be great for me whenever I go in the gym and I train. It may make me feel sluggish, things like that. But my nutrition definitely has been, cleaned up. I'm focusing more on protein and simple carbs like veggies and fruits and things like that. It does take a little bit of some time to switch into that, and of course, I won't deprive myself of not having, a burger or pizza, a drink, things like that. It's just I know now I can't do that every other day. Maybe in my 20s I could have, but as we're getting older, our body changes, our hormones change, life just changes. So, as far as nutrition, yes, getting enough, protein and carbs whenever you are lifting weights is very important.
hmm Carbs. Carbs
Mhm.
for a diabetic. Carbs are from the devil, you know,
I
and
understand.
it's an ongoing battle that never ends. We went out to brunch a little earlier, and I had a chicken, what do you call it? A spicy buffalo chicken sandwich, and I removed the top bun. I
Yeah,
took off the top bun and I ate it with a knife and fork. And
yeah.
shout out to Mike Greenberg, who I am going to upload the video and tag you in it. I hope I did you proud because that dude eats everything with a knife and fork, whether it's hot wings, pizza, donuts, everything's with a knife and fork. But that's another story for another day. Okay, now here's something that I need you to explain to little girls that not only look like you, talk like you, sound like you, but little girls that may not look like you and may not talk like you or may not even sound like you, tell them, or what would you have to say to them if they said, you know what, I want to get into what you're doing? What would you say to them to encourage them to do just that?
I would say just do it. Do your research, and if it's obviously, someone who has a daughter out there and wants them to kind of dip their toe into Olympic weightlifting, because you can get a scholarship
Hmm.
if your child is does well, you can get a scholarship, and that can help you get through school. And Olympic weightlifting is it's a very technical sport, but also it is a lot safer than football and lacrosse and, those high impact sports. But if I had to give any advice to any young little girl is just do it. It's okay to be strong. You're not going to look like a man. You're going to be strong and it's
Look
okay
at
to be
Natalie. She
strong.
don't look nothing like a man, y'all.
And if someone is intimidated for the fact that you lift weights, then that's okay. But continue to be strong. It's a marathon, and it'll help you get through good days. It'll help you get through bad days. There's days where I just had a really bad day at work, and I just know the day's gonna get better whenever I hit that gym. So I would say just do it and have a good support system. Your community, find a good community that will encourage you whenever you're down and you're not lifting the best way that you can, or if you're about to skip, a day in the gym, where they're going to encourage you and say, well, just, show up to the gym and we'll see how your body moves. I would say just do it, and it's okay to be strong.
Here. And that part right there is the most encouraging part. Now, before I get to the next question, then it will actually be the last question I ask you. Your past competitions, how many of those have you participated in?
It's been a handful, probably 5 to 6 so far, and I went to state in January, and I placed 3rd at state with my age and weight category, which was really cool because it was my first time at state.
Mm-hmm.
I had another competition about a week ago, local competition at Austin Barbell, and that went well. I got 2nd place in my age and category. And then I have an upcoming competition at the American Open in Columbus, Ohio in 2 weeks. That'll be my first big national competition, and that one's coming up. So I'm a little bit nervous, but I'm just going to go in there and have fun and lift weights with some beautiful, strong ladies.
And here, let me encourage you right now. Okay. Like you just said, to everybody out there that's watching and will ultimately listening to this on iTunes, Google Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasting materials, I'm going to tell you, just like you told everybody else, just do it.
Yes.
Just do it.
All right.
So that competition in Columbus, you said, is in a couple weeks.
2 weeks.
In 2 weeks. So I would like to have you back on after that competition, and we can talk about that. Is there any way that we can, will it be streamed? Any way we can see whatever is going on? You have that information, or can you get that information to us? And then
I can definitely get that information. Yeah, okay. Absolutely.
So what I'll do is when you pass the information along to me, I will, of course, put it on Instagram. You're not on Twitter at all, are you?
I'm not.
Okay.
Just Instagram.
That's where the majority of my community is on Twitter. I just told Patrice this earlier today that the memory came up from 2 years ago when we were at 2,500 followers on Twitter. And now 2 years later, we're approaching 13,000.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, but I can still put it out there. And then whenever you get back, we can start talking about scheduling a time for you to come back. So, all right. Social media information. Go.
I am at the THE Natty NATTY _ Nat NAT. The Natty Nat. Natty with the underscore,
Yeah.
Natty _ Nat. I'm going to try and post some more training videos. I'll probably do that more this year, just to, just show my progress to anyone that is, wanting and inspiring to get into the sport. If anyone has any questions, you can always reach out to me. I'm very motivating, very inspirational towards people and just any goals that they have. So you guys can catch me there.
That, ladies and gentlemen, and my sissy, I can attest to. She will encourage you to a point to where you will feel like you can do anything because you can, and she says it. She means it, and that is just who she is as a person. I've always known that about her. This is one of the reasons why I love her so much. So we look forward to you having much success in Columbus. And until then, do your best and stay motivated. For everybody out there, this has been the Ballers Report podcast, courtesy of the Shakeback Media Group, powered by the same. Talking to the sis, Natalie Smith. Y'all take care of each other. Y'all hug each other. Y'all love each other. And we'll holler at y'all again real soon. Peace. We out.